Hello, I'm going to walk you through how to animate a character walking. Your finished result will look something like this. Okay, so to demo this, I'm going to create a new symbol. It has to be a movie clip, and I'm going to call this Batman 2, just because I already have a Batman set up already. It's going to change my stage color back to white. Okay, so ahead of time I split up Batman into various sections. Okay, so if you want to animate a character, you're going to have to separate the image out into individual pieces like I have. I'm going to start with the torso, just because everything else connects to that. I'll drag that from my library. There it is. You want to keep your character as close to this plus sign as you can. That's the center. Alright. That's the upper right arm I'm going to add. Upper arm there. Lower right arm. In my upper right leg. Now this actually has to go under the arms, but on top of the torso. So I can change the order by dragging them around here. Okay, and my lower leg. That should be good. I'm actually going to put that below the upper legs, that's underneath. And now I'm going to add the foot. It's my last one for that leg. Okay, there it is, and I'm going to put that below the leg as well, so it's underneath. Alright, so now I have to add the other side that's hidden behind his body. So that's all going to be underneath the torso. So upper left arm. Now for this one, I just use the same symbol for both arms. It looks pretty good. You might want to have a different symbol for the left arm if it's going to be that much different. But one thing you can do, because I want to give the illusion of perspective, before I move my symbol into place, I'm just going to go to the properties up here, and I'm going to go to color effect, brightness. I'll bring that down to 20%, minus 20%. Okay, and it looks like it's behind. So I'll just drag it back here. I want it to be lined up roughly where the other arm is. Okay, now I might need to, you see down here, you can hide your layers. So I'm just going to hide my layers and reveal that one just to make sure that that's where I want it to be. Okay, and then I need the lower left arm. And that's going to be underneath the upper left arm. There's the lower arm. And again, I'm going to change the brightness. And it just remembers your last setting, so it saves some time there. Drag that into place. Okay, now I need my leg, my other leg. So upper left leg. Upper leg. Again, I'm going to change the brightness. Drag that into place. Lower left leg. It's going to be underneath the upper left leg. Again, I'm going to change the brightness. Drag that into place. And last but not least, I have the foot. Actually, that's the left foot. And change the brightness on that as well. A little bit darker. And put that into place. Alright. So, you can put a cape on him, but just to make things simple, I'm going to leave that off for now. Just so you can see how I move him. Because your character probably won't have a cape. So the first thing we need to do if we want to animate a character is to set up the armature. Okay, that's with the bone tool. That's the bone tool right there. So I'm going to lock everything except for the pieces that I want to link. So let's start with the leg. The right leg. Okay, just making sure that's it. So the upper right leg, lower right leg, and the foot. So everything else is locked. Grab the bone tool. I don't know what that is. Okay. Grab the bone tool. And I need to click on the first layer that I'm going to be selecting. That's the upper right leg. I'll just click on that to highlight it. And basically I'm dragging it to the joint. Okay, so that's connecting the upper leg to the lower leg, and this is going to connect the lower leg to the foot. Now, it's a good idea to test your joints there. Just grab the selection tool and just make sure that it's moving in a somewhat realistic way. Looks pretty good so far. Okay, my knee's a little bit wonky, but not too bad overall. Okay, so I'll keep that. Okay, I'm going to lock everything again, and let's work on the left leg. Now again, you can hide everything else, and then just show that leg, because it is hidden behind. Grab my bone tool, select the first layer that I'm going to be using, and I'll just link it up just like the other one. Okay, let's test that out. Okay, I think that should be okay. Okay, now let's set up the arms. The right arm. Unlock that. There's just two symbols for that one. So I want to select the upper one first. Grab my bone tool. Link the shoulder to the elbow. And then the elbow to the end of the hand. Try it again. Doesn't want to do that for some reason. Try that again. try to change the order of the layers. Maybe that makes a difference. Oh, I see. Okay. I don't need to bring it to the hand because I just have two symbols. That's why. Okay, that's not good though. Let's try that one more time. I'm gonna put my order back. Okay, to the elbow. Okay, let's just test that out. Okay, that should be fine. Okay. Yeah, if my hand was a separate symbol, then I could drag my bone to the hand as well, but if I just have two symbols, the upper arm and the lower arm, then that's all I need. Okay, so I'm going to hide everything now, and I am just going to look at the left arm and unlock that. So the bone tool again, starting with the upper left arm, drag that to the elbow. That worked. Okay, that seems a little bit weird. I'm going to try that one more time. That's even worse. Let's try that one more time. You might have to try your bones a couple times before you're happy with it. And I'll go with that. It's not great, but it's going to be behind him anyways. You might want to put a little bit more care into yours, but I want to make this as quick as I can for you. Okay, so we have our armatures all set up. Now you'll notice down here that I have some blank keyframes. So when you add something, when you use the bone tool and it adds it to what's called an armature, then it actually grabs your symbols out of whatever layer it already had it. Okay, so this is my right arm. I'm actually going to rename these armatures. Right arm, this is right leg. It's a bit of a pain, an extra step. Left leg, but it'll be worthwhile for you. Left arm. And we can actually delete those original layers now. Okay. Oh, I deleted his torso by mistake. I'll leave the torso. Okay, so we can delete everything except for the torso, because the torso is not using the bone tool. Okay, so I'm going to choose 60 as my length for my animation. You can choose whatever you like, but 60 seems like a good number for me. So on my right arm, I'm just going to right click on the 60 frame and insert pose. Okay, right leg, same thing. Torso, I'm just inserting a frame. Okay, inserting pose on left leg, and insert pose on left arm. Okay, now I need to find the halfway point, which is 30. There it is. And I'm going to do the same thing. Insert pose, insert pose. I don't need anything there. Insert pose, insert pose. Now the reason why I'm doing this at the halfway point is because, as you know, with a walk cycle, he's going to move one leg forward, and then he's going to move the other leg forward, and between that, he needs to end up at the same point, okay, at his contact point, which is right here. Now, the quickest way to make someone walk would be to animate the points in between your contact points. Okay, Now, if you want more detail, you could pick a point here, and then here, and then here. So you could add 3 points. But I'm just going to show you this quick way to do that. So I like to do the legs first. So I'm going to look at the left leg, and I'm going to lock everything except for that left leg. So the left leg is going to move back. Okay, that should be fine. And then at 45, the left leg is going to move forward. You play with the foot a bit there. Okay. Okay, so we have the left leg moving. I'll lock that. I'll unlock the right leg, and we're basically doing the same thing with the right leg. Okay, it moves forward. I just want to make sure it moves about the same amount. That should be fine. Give it a little bit of a bend. Okay, we got to move this leg back. Moved it a bit too far back here. Okay, that's not too bad. So you can hit enter to test that out. Okay, I'm okay with that. Maybe a little bit slow, but that's fine. I did choose 60. If you want a faster walk, you would choose a smaller number, like maybe 20 or 30. Okay, now I just have to get the arms to move. So as my right leg moves forward, I want my right arm to move back. Okay, just a small movement like that is fine. He's just walking, he's not sprinting. And at this point, I'll move that forward. Okay, all that's left is the left arm. So I'll move that. Oops. Move that forward a bit so you can see it there. And then it has to move back. I don't quite like how that looks, so I'm going to move that forward a bit. There we go. Now I'm going to put it back to how it was. So yeah, you can play around with it a bit. It takes a little bit of tweaking before it looks how you want it. But for the purposes of my demo, I think this is fine. Okay, now the last touch, I want his torso to bob up and down a little bit, because when you walk, you don't keep your torso completely stationary. So I'm going to unlock that torso, and I'm actually going to right click it and create a motion tween. And at the center point, I want him to be back where he is, so I'm just going to actually tap up on the keyboard and down, okay, just so that'll set that point for me. So it's going to be in the exact same spot. Now at 15, I'm going to tap up a couple times on the keyboard, and at 45 I'll do the same. Okay, very subtle, but you can see he's moving up and down. Okay, so this is our movie clip. Now we'll go back to scene, and I'm actually going to insert a new scene just so we can see it from scratch here. I'm going to call my layer Batman because that's my character's name, and I'm going to drag him onto the scene. There he is. Right click, create a motion tween, and I'm going to move, I don't have to move it, it's already there, and I'll drag him to where I want him to be. I want him to be off screen so he walks across. So I have a feeling this is going to be too fast, but let's test it out anyways. Oh, we're seeing scene, the other scene. So I'm going to test scene, not test movie. Okay, way too fast. Okay. So I can extend that point by just grabbing the end keyframe here. I'll just drag that out to, I don't know, 100. Oh, I forgot. Test scene. Okay, still probably too fast. You know, you might try 150. Again, this will take a lot of tweaking. You can play around with it. Okay, it's not too bad. And what I could do, I could add another layer. Call this ground. It'll be under Batman. Let's pick maybe a black. So I'm just going to add a ground on him. There. And let's see what that looks like. Okay, so he looks a bit like a robot, but hopefully you get the idea. You can definitely play around a bit. Like I said in here in the movie clip, I only have one keyframe between the contact points. Okay, to make it even smoother and more realistic, you might want to have 3 points in between your contacts. So you can refer to the class website and the diagram that's on the walking tutorial for those other points. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a good background in how to create a character and how to make him walk.